All right, guys, those just tuning in, we wrapped up our game. Debut game for the Grey Knights. Not a good one. For the Custodians, 100 to a Grey Knights 69. I mean, you got to lose. That's the way to lose, I guess.
That's the score you want.
So, let's go over a couple of things here. Number one thing was 6 squads of Terminators. These are the couple of things I was talking about beforehand. I feel like this is the Oath of Moment effect. When you have rerolls into a target, you're able to destroy that target, or you have good accuracy. That wasn't the case with the Terminators. Granted, we were going into Custodians, high toughness, matches with us, so we're wounding on 4s, and then 2 wounds or 3 wounds. So my 2 wounds are, it's going to take 2 hits to take down a guy. So that wasn't very good. That wasn't very strong. Here's the kicker. That's Death Guard for you.
Yeah. I did bring a lot of vehicles today, but that's the meta. Is Death Guard usually running a bunch of vehicles, Imperial Knights, Chaos Knights. That's the meta is vehicles. I didn't build this list specifically to go at DJ. I didn't actually think it would go that well. Yeah, I stand by that. I didn't think it would go that well for me because between the Calladius and the Land Raider, I had 12 high value shots. Between all the invulns that Grey Knights have, I thought it'd be bouncing half those out. It just worked out that way that they kind of, just chewed through everything. I didn't get a whole lot of efficiency out of the detachment rerolls. Land Raider got him a little bit once he got damaged. But I did like the Land Raider. Being able to deliver a squad of Custodes without worrying about deep strike or rapid ingress or anything, or just throwing them up the table is really strong. And the Land Raider being in Custodes hits on 2s, and in this detachment, once he takes a little damage, he's reroll on 1s. So it turned out pretty efficiently between those, him and the Calladiuses. And then the Dreadnoughts did pretty well punching into their targets. Took them a little while to chew through a 4-man Terminator squad. They usually didn't do it in one go. Unless there's a little bit of shooting that kind of took down Terminators, but worked pretty well. So I was really happy with how the Custodes performed. It was a lot of fun.
In hindsight, I was probably a little too aggressive bringing the Purifiers in and there was probably some stuff that was a little too aggressive and I should have played a little more cagey against it. Second going, I'd probably go more cagey. Definitely, I wouldn't do the 6 Terminators again. I need more damage aspect into it, which they were not going to bring. It's cool that we can do it. I do like the 4-man Terminator squad. Like you said, difficult to kill. OC3. Probably I'd run like 3 of those, maybe 2, and one of them as a strike, just because the strike have sticky objectives. So it's like I can sticky something, pick them up at the end. So there's a lot of tech out of this detachment. I think that the tech that this detachment brings, I didn't build into enough of it. I wanted to try some of the cool stuff and like slap some stuff around in there. And the biggest thing is that after building the core, I need to find stuff that has reliable damage. The Purifiers were a good choice. Probably maybe a little too aggressive or just unlucky that they were one of the units that got walled.
I don't think the Overwatch play was right with them in this case because I had too much stuff that could shoot at them.
Possibly.
You brought them in there and I had the Land Raider and Trajan squad that could shoot twice.
I was trying to get that right.
Maybe forgot about the shoot twice thing or whatever, but it was just there's too much that could shoot at him, and I whittled away most of the squad in the shooting phase.
Yeah, I thought I could make through more of that, and I thought that I was trying to rescue the Grandmaster because if the Grandmaster was able in this matchup, especially with all his vehicles, if we cleared that squad, and the Grandmaster then got the chance to move during my turn, he moves forward instead of picking up off the table. Now he could put the Melta into one vehicle that was close, but close enough for Melta, but far enough away. Melta that one, charge another one, and now there's 2 vehicles potentially going to turn. So that was kind of my goal is like, I got to save this Grandmaster because the Grandmaster, there's too much behind him. That being said, take a second Grandmaster. And most likely when I go to run this again later on, like this is our first running of it, my first running of it, when I go to run it the second time, because I do like what the detachment was able to do. I think there's a lot of finesse out of it that I'm able to pull. Not a lot, but as I noticed, not a ton of stratagems that really played. Like I used the -1 to get to my dudes, to -1 to hit my walker. And then I used the get up and go. That was it. So the other 4 strats, the reactive move didn't happen because you weren't close enough.
I wasn't deep striking today, yeah.
No, none of you weren't. And then the what was the other one? Fight on death. I guess I should probably could have done that, but I don't think anyone really in this scenario was really able to fight on death in a good capacity.
Yeah, most of it was punching up into dreadnoughts in the combat, other than maybe one squad of guys. Yeah.
So yeah, there really wasn't anything there. Really anything to do there. So that was kind of lackluster. But all in all, though, I mean, I got slapped pretty hard, and I was still able to constantly figure out ways to potentially score points,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that. So now it's a matter of going back into it and going, okay, I need to dial more into damage. Second Grandmaster Dread Knight, maybe. That's really about it. That's really all I can think is maybe second Grandmaster Dread Knight. And then, I don't know. Purifiers 50-50 out of this detachment. I think the Purifiers are amazing. I think if I was really probably I'd probably just played them bad into this. Because again, I was trying to find damage, and those Terminators were not able to do it. They were too medium into too much elite, so it just wasn't happening. Then over into the Grandmaster, his potato cannon.
We didn't get to see the Sublime Tater do its work today.
No, we didn't. I got tied up. That was it. So we'll have to give him another go. And then, like I said, with the actual army itself, the detachment, I think there is a ton of play there. I have to get a good balance between the units that are going to do damage, that have, like I said, their own inherent abilities that do well. I think the Dreadnought's a good add. I think he's going to really help out. Just to be able to give you those rerolls and eliminate targets like that. I think he's good. And then what was it? The Purifiers, being able to go reroll wounds and do the damage in the infantry. There's a lot of good damage out of that, but I had way too much in the objective side of things today. And I fell, so like I said, the dice were fine. You're going to have times where you roll and your wounds are terrible. You're going to have times that you roll and your saves are awesome. That happens in the back and forth of 40K.
Yeah. I honestly think dice were pretty even today, because there were definitely things that didn't go my way. Like, I did make that charge in the Nemesis Dread Knight you're trying to protect, the Grandmaster, and I did 4 wounds to him. Because of your heroic intervention, I couldn't pile on everybody in. And the Venerable Dreadnought, who stands back up on a 2-up, well, I rolled a 1. He stayed down. So there were definitely some times when it didn't go my way. Definitely some times when it did. So
right. And
I think the 6 Terminator squad is a bit of a meme,
maybe.
But they're still good. I mean, the fact that they grow back, they're hard to kill, and 1 grows back. If you kill the squad down to 2 and then 1 grows back, that's 9 OC. That's really strong.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking though is next week I'm probably going to go, since I still do love to see the Terminators get a little bit of love. I'll probably run the Hollowed Ground unless people want to see a different detachment. That isn't Spearhead. The reason why I'm not going to run the Vehicle Spearhead is that's probably going to be the 3rd detachment to run. So I'm going to be running 3 Grey Knight detachments, then I'll take a break for a bit, go over to some Necrons and stuff like that. So this was number 1. I want to run a couple of them and see. And then after that, when we come back to Grey Knights, we're going to be looking at these super, trying to dial in competitive builds around this. Probably Warpbane Task Force is going to be back on the table.
With the improvements to Purifiers, Warpbane
there's a reason
30 Purifiers is going to be insane.
There's a reason I haven't put my Purifiers away yet, that I still have them out ready to go, is because it's just I looked at that and I was just okay. And now when you give me the aspect of reroll hits, I do have a strat for the reroll, the invuln, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, now the strat that gives you reroll wounds is garbage. Well, what about when you're shooting at a unit that's not objective?
Or you just save that CP for something else.
Yeah, and save it into something else. Yeah, you're right. So, but yeah, that's about it. I feel disappointed. Definitely disappointed. It's a brand new book, brand new codex, so I would have liked to see that perform better. I do feel like I got a taste of what this could do. I didn't have, the balance was way off. Like before, when I played Grey Knights at the beginning of the edition, when it was a lot different, to do just that MSU splash unit, I'm going to jump all over the place, was efficient in the early goings of the edition. Now, as everything's kind of moved on, we have vehicles going through walls, we have a lot of higher damage and stuff like that. To just play that game wasn't going to work. And I got to see that. got to see it firsthand. I'm not going to do the 6 Terminators out of the Terminator detachment because I feel like a lot of the abilities and strats go off bigger units. And there was a lot of times, I'm going to tell you this right now, if there's anything I can say to a bunch of Grey Knight players, that when you're looking at different data sheets, you're looking at units, and you're trying to make a decision in scenarios between Paladins and Terminators, there's a lot of times where I was looking down, I was like, man, I wish these were Paladins. Because now we go back to the Oath of Moment theory. When Space Marines use Oath of Moment, they usually destroy that target. But then when they shoot at other things that they don't have Oath of Moment, that target lives. So they do because they roll poor or armor saves or something else because there's no modifiers going through it. Unless you're Centurions and you bring your own modifiers. With the Paladins, they're hitting on 2s. They charge, they get +1 damage. They're going to be able to push through. I felt like so many times, like, man, those guys, if you rolled a 1 or 2, we're taking out a guard. Boom, guard down, guard down, guard down. So I feel like, one, this was thematic, though, because we see a lot of memes with the Custodians and the Grey Knights right now. So after we get through this in the competitive thing, I want the Custodians again, because I need to punch these golden boys in the face. But I need to figure out what we're doing with the Grey Knights first. So I talk a lot about that. Anything you felt with the vehicle-based, your more vehicle-based attachment as opposed to the Lion, Unleash the Lions?
I really love putting guys in a Land Raider and driving it through a wall and disembarking them and charging them. It's good in my Death Guard, and it's good here too because it's difficult to plan against because just moving that Land Raider through a wall, it's only 10 inches, but then the disembarks 3 inches. And then they get out, they shoot. And because they were Custodian Guard, I put them on objectives. They were rerolling all wounds. If the target was on objective, it would have gone even better than that because the Nemesis Dread Knight wasn't. But I definitely think it has play. And I like the Land Raider and Custodes. I've never tried it before, but just the fact that it's the same 240 points in Marines, but it just automatically hits on 2s, which is really good. And in this attachment, of course, once it takes damage, it becomes super efficient. But I think it's a lot of fun. I had a good time with it. I might try it again at some point. I think putting Trajan maybe with some Wardens might be more interesting because obviously their defensive abilities being -1 to wound, and once per game feel no pain just means once I launch that into the middle of my opponent's army, they're going to be super hard to deal with. So I think I might try that. The Palace Grab tank didn't do anything. Our littlest tank didn't really do anything today. So that was sad. But we drop him, add another squad of sisters and turn some Custodian Guard into Wardens. But other than that, I'd probably run this list again. So. All
right, guys. Well, that about wraps it up for us this evening. Sorry, Grey Knight guys. We'll get them next week. We'll bring another detachment. We're going to try the Terminator-based one, I think, is where I'm going to go. And then we'll move into some other detachments. I definitely want to run the Spearhead one because that vehicle one looks super, super nasty. Mm-hmm. And the fact of possibly having a Storm Raven out of Grey Knights again, I like that. I like that a lot. So, all right, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.